All right, free agency is here, and now it's time to make a good video with the NFL, and I'm going to enjoy this one. All right, I got a page where it's got to go team by team with the free agent signings because I'm not going to know all the players. I mean, of course we know the most notable ones, but if you look at this, the Cardinals now they're making some moves. They made some upgrades. They got Marcus Gilbert. It's going to be a great offensive tackle. I don't understand why the Steelers traded him. He's a great offensive lineman. Cardinals really upgraded. They got Marcus Gilbert. I'm glad they got Jordan Hicks because I was tired of seeing him on the Eagles. Now I ain't got to worry about him harassing Dallas, so that's positive for me. Brett Hundley, it's not a bad backup. It's, they need somebody just in case. You never know. Brett Hundley, I haven't seen much about him in the NFL because when he replaced Rodgers, he kind of looked trashy, but it's one of those iffy players that he has to be developed correctly or he's not going to be a good player. Now, they got Terrell Suggs and J.R. Sweezy. Terrell Suggs is going to be really nice for their defense. So they might be looking pretty well coming this next year if they can get all the team chemistry. They just got a new coach that got rid of Bruce Arians. So as long as David Johnson stays healthy, they're going to be an interesting team to see this year. All right, now the Atlanta Falcons didn't do really much. They signed a couple offensive linemen, a D tackle that they franchise tagged. They didn't really do much. The Ravens now, I hate to say the one player they got. It's a player I really wanted, Earl Thomas. But I don't know if y'all know this or not. In the past 3 seasons, linebacker Sean Lee, who's always injured for Dallas, has played more games than Earl Thomas. And Earl Thomas is getting up there in age. So I think it was, I really wanted Earl Thomas, but I think it was a really smart move not going after him for the simple reason that he's older and he's going to get hurt easily. In which there's a lot of players in the NFL nowadays that get hurt so easily. Like, I want to see Dallas go out and get Eric Berry or Clinton Dix. But, like with Eric Berry, he gets hurt a lot. But I'm a big Tennessee fan, so I'd love to see Eric Berry and a star on his helmet. That'd be awesome because I love seeing him for the Vols. He was one of my all-time favorite Vols players to watch every year in and year out. But the Ravens did pretty well. They signed Mark Ingram and Earl Thomas. Those are 2 really good signings. You pairing up Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson, that might be a really good duo right there if Lamar Jackson produces the way he should in his second season because he had a great rookie year. So I'm ready to see him with Mark Ingram. That's going to be a nice little duo. And I'm ready to see Mark Ingram by himself again because he did a really good job with the Saints before Kamara got there. And obviously Kamara stole his job because, he's young. They're going to keep the young dude because most running backs only last about 10 seasons. And you make it past that, you're pretty good. Unless you're somebody like Frank Gore or something like that, you're not going to last that long. Now, let's get to the Bills. They made some moves. I don't agree with them going after Frank Gore because I feel like he's kind of washed up now. But, hey, they need somebody else when LaShawn McCoy, all he does is get hurt. Now, I am real sad to see Cole Beasley go away to the Bills. But I think people are going to see that Dak Prescott's actually better than you think. Because Cole Beasley, I don't know how he's going to do with the Bills, but I know what he does for Dallas. He did a great job for Dallas. I wish him nothing but respect and good luck on the Bills. But that tweet he put out saying it's about the same going to the playoffs with the Bills and the Cowboys, he needs to shut the hell up. You really think the Bills are going to do anything in the playoffs? Tyrod Taylor's the only quarterback that's gotten into the playoffs since, the last Super Bowl they went to when they lost to Dallas in the 90s? Like, bro, get out of here. You can't be saying the Bills are going to go to the playoffs this next year. They still got another 3-4 seasons before they're even a playoff team. Because they're just way too young. I don't know. I just can never trust the Bills. But I do like their signing at John Brown. John Brown's going to be a nice complementary to Cole Beasley. Then they also got Tyler Kroft, which would be a nice little young tight end. And they got Kevin Johnson at corner. It's going to be really nice there. Carolina now, they really didn't do anything. Chicago, they had a nice couple signings. They got Cordell Patterson. He's a nice fast dude. So they're gonna have another good special teams player. Cordell Patterson, you can never go wrong with Cordell Patterson on returning the ball. I've seen him return so many balls at Tennessee. He was ridiculous there. And then we also got Buster Skrine. And, man, I would have loved to seen him to gone to Dallas because Dallas, I mean, they got a young secondary, and they need some veterans in their secondary to pair up with Byron Jones. But their secondary is going to be nice in the future. Y'all got to watch out. Their secondary is really going to be nice. All right, now let's talk about the obvious, the Browns, who made that massive trade for Odell Beckham. Man, they got Odell Beckham and Olivier Vernon. That is amazing to add to their team. Odell, he could be a cancer, but he could have a really good season. People don't understand. He could have a really good season. The Browns, I'm going to be watching the Browns this year. I really want to see how good they do. Are they going to win the AFC North? No. I still think it's going to go between the Steelers and Ravens. As much as people want to say the Steelers aren't going to be as good as they are without AB, they're going to be good. They still got Juju Smith-Schuster, they still got Big Ben. Big Ben led the league in passing yards last year. People tend to forget about that. And that was just owing to Juju Smith-Schuster most of the season because AB was being a drama queen all season long. To me, he's just like Odell Beckham Jr. Great player, but major drama queen. Just going to be a cancer to the team. And they also signed Sheldon Richardson, which is a huge signing on their defense. Now, what hurt them, getting rid of Jabril Peppers is going to hurt their defense a little bit, and same with Kevin Zoltner at guard. Those are two really good players that they could really use, especially Jabril Peppers being young as he is, and he had a pretty good season last year. Now, let's get to my Cowboys. So, recently, they just agreed to terms with Cameron Fleming, which is a major signing because if Tyron Smith happens to have back problems again next year, he is a really good replacement. So, so Dak doesn't get sacked 5-6 times a game like we did a couple of years back. We don't need that again. And then I don't agree with the franchise tag on D-Law, but hey, eventually gonna have to get him a big contract. Gonna have to. He's the best defensive line. He's one of the best defensive ends in the NFL, and it's ridiculous how good he's been playing these past couple seasons. And then, of course, Jason Witten came out of retirement. One of my favorite players ever on the Dallas Cowboys. And I can't wait to see him play this season. And then they don't have this one on here, but I seen this earlier on Facebook. We also retained Owale, the fullback. So I'm glad they re-signed him, honestly, because he's a really good fullback. And I'm glad they traded for him last year with the Raiders. Okay, now to the Broncos. They traded for Joe Flacco. I think that was an amazing move. I think the Ravens messed up. I think they should have kept Joe Flacco. I think Lamar Jackson still has a lot to prove. And the fans of Baltimore thinking he's going to be the real deal, I just don't know yet. I haven't seen enough out of him to know he is because he's a running quarterback. And it's going to be hard. As small as he is, he's going to have to start throwing. He's going to have to start being an actual quarterback and not a running back. Then they also signed Kareem Jackson and Juwan James. Juwan James is a nice deal for them because he's another Tennessee boy. And he's a great offensive tackle. And Broncos need to keep their quarterback protected so they can find these openings and everything like that. All right, now onto the Lions. The Lions didn't do too bad. They got Trey Flowers at D-line. They picked up Jesse James, which that's a nice pickup. Justin Coleman at corner and Denny Amendola at receiver. Those are some nice pickups. But it's the Lions. I can't say much there. Now, the Packers, I was very intrigued by what they're doing. They're going after defense. They got Adrian Amos, Preston Smith, and Zadarius Smith. Those are three nice players to pick up, and they're going to look really good on defense, especially with Clay Matthews out there. Their defense is going to be nasty as long as they stay healthy. And then the Texans got Tashawn Gibson and Bradley Roby. Those are really nice pickups, and then they placed Clowney on the franchise tag. They really need to give him his money, and so we can go ahead and get it. Because the Texans are a team to watch out for in the future. Because Deshaun Watson, that man, It was ridiculous. Between seeing him and Dak go at it last year was one of my favorite games I got to watch of the Dallas Cowboys. And even though they lost, it was a great freaking game. All right, now it's on to the Colts. They picked up Devin Funchess. That was a nice pickup. And then they re-signed Pierre Desir and Margus Hunt, which I'm assuming, I'm not a big Colts fan, I'm assuming it's rotation players for them, which will be big for them because their defense was really good last year. But the Colts have been kind of like Dallas, haven't really done much in the free agency, and they probably need to dip their pen in it a little bit and write some checks. But as you know, you haven't seen anything lately. Now the Jaguars finally let go Bortles, and they signed Foles to that massive deal. Don't understand why they signed him a 4-year, $88 million deal, but hey, Nick Foles showed what he can do at Philly, so let's see what he can do in Jackson. I don't see no reason why he can't succeed there. But as long as Jalen Ramsey is there, and I still don't think Jalen Ramsey's all that. I don't care what anybody says. I just don't think he's all that. Now, the Chiefs made some nice moves. I hate that they stole our linebacker Damian Wilson, but there's only so much new. And then they released Eric Berry, but they signed Honey Badger. And he signed Carlos Hyde. Those are 3 nice pickups because they're helping their defense out a little bit. Their defense wasn't too good last year. And their defense needed a lot of upgrades. And then they added Carlos Hyde, which was a nice pickup for some fact, with the whole Kareem Hunt incident. And they had to let him go. And now they got Carlos Hyde, which I think is a very underrated running back in the NFL. I still don't understand why the Niners let go of him, but Matt Breida has showed him a reason why he's the starter and Carlos Hyde wasn't on the team. All right, now the Chargers. I was surprised by the moves the Chargers made, especially with Tyrod Taylor. I don't expect Tyrod Taylor to be a backup. I think he should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I never understand. And I still don't understand why the Bills let go of him last year. He got them to the playoffs for the first time ever since the 90s, and they let go of him. That made no sense to me. And it wasn't even his fault they lost in the playoffs. It was freaking Nathan Peterman. Dude's trash. I seen him play for Tennessee Vols. He was terrible there. It's a reason Tennessee sucks. Sucked that year. All right. And they also picked up Brandon Mebane, re-signed Brandon Mebane, and they agreed to terms with Thomas Davis. I can't believe they stole him from Carolina. Thomas Davis is going to be a nice duo for their defense, and their defense was already pretty good last year, and it's getting better. And then the Rams haven't really done much other than signing Eric Weddle, but they re-signed Dante Fowler Jr., which was a big re-signing. But Eric Weddle, I'm really interested to see how well he's going to do with the Rams. The Rams have a stacked defense. I don't know where they have all this money planted, but they have money apparently because they paid Eric Weddle, who's, I don't understand that. But anyways, on to the Dolphins. They signed Dwayne Allen. That's a nice pickup for a tight end, but it's the Dolphins, so who cares? And then the Vikings. They had that whole situation with Anthony Barr eventually just came back. It was weird, but okay. Then the Patriots getting Michael Bennett in a trade. I was shocked that the Eagles traded him. He had a really good season with them last year. I know he has his attitude. He's a ghetto dude, but he's a hell of a ball player. So I just don't understand that. And then on to the Saints. They pulled Latavius Murray to pair with Alvin Kamara. So that's going to be a real nice duo still because Latavius Murray can produce really good if you have that little duo with him. Now, when he's a running back by himself, he only did pretty good. He did good his first couple years in Minnesota, and then he kind of, slowed down. I don't know what happened exactly there. And then let's get to the dumpster fire of the New York Giants. And I love calling it a dumpster fire because I hate the Giants. And all they really did was add Antoine Bethia and Jabril Peppers and Kevin Ziltner because they traded away Beckham and Vernon, which I do not agree with. But, hey, the Giants front office is obviously stupid. Simple as that. But The Giants are going to be at the bottom of the cellar for the next probably 3-4 seasons. All they have really is Saquon Barkley. That's all they have going for them really right now. As far as I know, seeing them play, Saquon Barkley is going to be the only person to watch out for on that team. All right, now to the Jets, who really dipped into it. Le'Veon Bell, great signing. Great signing for them, Le'Veon Bell. He's going to really help that team, and he's going to help their young quarterback be really good, possibly. But Le'Veon Bell's the only running back that's close to Zeke, Todd Gurley, or Saquon. He's the only running back close to them as good as him. And I'm glad to see Le'Veon play this year. I'd rather see him on the Steelers, to be honest. Because, I like seeing Le'Veon and Big Ben go at it with Dak and Zeke when they get to play each other. Just like that back in, I believe it was 2016, or I think it was Zeke's rookie season. That was a great game, getting to see the Steelers lose to them in the final seconds of Zeke. I loved every minute of it, too. And they also got signed Josh Bellamy and Bellamy, or however the hell he says his name. And then Jamison Crowder. That was a nice little pickup. And then they signed C.J. Mosley and got Kelechi Azameli in the trade, which was a really nice pickup. All they had traded is a 6th round and a 5th round pick, which is not bad for Kelechi Azameli because he's one of the best offensive guards in the NFL right now. You know how Gruden is. He trades so much. I don't understand why he's been trading like crazy. Then let's get to the Raiders. The team of the offseason, obviously, because they've been talked the most about. AB's been the most talked about player besides Le'Veon Bell. And they picked up AB, Trent Brown, LaMarcus Joyner, and Tyrell Williams. All 4 nice pickups. Now, as a matter of fact, is Derek Carr going to produce? Is he going to produce? We don't know. I think it's so hard. He produced it a little bit with Jordy Nelson. He was just a little inconsistent last year. Now, get him AB and Jordy Nelson together. I'm really intrigued to see it. But I still think the Raiders may win 7 games. I don't see them winning. I don't see them going to the playoffs. I think it's gonna take a little bit of time for them to get together, and AB probably won't be there long enough for them to go to the playoffs, in my opinion. Now let's get on to the Eagles. They picked up Malik Jackson. That's a nice pickup. I'm not going to lie. As much as I hate the Eagles, I'm going to give credit where it's due. They do know what they're doing somewhat. I still don't understand why they traded for Deshaun Jackson. He's washed up. The only reason he was any good last year is because he had Mike Evans on the other side. And Mike Evans is a hoss. He should be a top 5 receiver in the NFL. You mean he's no drama queen. You don't ever hear him talking. He goes in there and does his job like all players should, but they don't. But they also re-signed Brandon Graham, which was a huge re-signing for the Eagles as well. Now let's get on to the Steelers. About all they did, they picked up Steve Nelson and re-signed Raymond Foster. Picking up Steve Nelson is a nice pickup, though, because the Steelers did need some help in their secondary. But I'm really intrigued to see the Steelers this year without AB and Le'Veon Bell. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be Big Ben and Juju Smith-Schuster. I want to see how they do together. All right, and on to the Niners. They signed Quan Alexander. That was a really nice signing. Then we got Tevin Coleman. Then they traded for Dee Ford. And they also placed a franchise tag on Robbie Gould. They re-signed Mike Pearson, and then they re-signed Jimmy Ward. All nice re-signings, and they made some nice moves. Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida are going to be a nice little duo, too. Because remember, Tevin Coleman and Devonta Freeman looked really good, so I'm intrigued to see Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida. That'll be a really interesting outlook. And then the Seahawks re-signed Michael Kendricks, signed Jason Myers, and placed their franchise tag on Frank Clark, which they really haven't done much. They're kind of like Dallas. They made one small signing, and the rest were re-signings. Like, I believe Dallas signed some, tight end, named McElroy or something. I've never even heard of the dude. but you need some backups. Nothing wrong with that. You got to make sure you have your rotation in. All right, on to the Bucks. They picked up Deion Buchanan, Brashad Perryman, and they re-signed Donovan Smith. All nice little moves. I really didn't do much. Now, on to my home state, the Titans. They signed Adam Humphries. That's a nice pickup. They needed some receivers for Mariota to throw to, so that was a nice pickup. Then they agreed to terms with Kevin Pamphile, which they need some more linemen. They need to add depth to that line. So, you start getting players hurt. Somebody like Taylor Lewan, who's pretty much the heart and soul of that offensive line, you're going to be hurting. You're going to be looking like how Dallas was when they lost Tyron Smith. And they also signed Rogers Saffold as well, who's a guard. So that was a nice little pickup. And then they re-signed Kenny Vaccaro. And then they signed a really nice defensive end, Cameron Wake. I'm really intrigued to see them this year. If Mariota stays healthy and that defense stays healthy and they use Derrick Henry the way they should, the Titans, I think, will be a really interesting team to see in the playoffs. Because Mike Vrabel is going to show what he can do as a coach. I mean, last year was his first season as a coach. This year is his second year, and he's made some nice moves. But there's still some time to go on in the offseason to make signings, trades. And then you got the draft coming up in April. And then on to the Redskins. They re-signed Peterson. That's a nice pickup. They needed to re-sign him anyways. And then they traded for Case Keenum, which I think was the stupidest trade in the world. Like, literally, why would you want a mediocre quarterback when you could just have Colton McCoy for cheaper? And about the same quarterback and produce the same numbers. I will never understand the Redskins. They will always have a mediocre quarterback. And then they signed Landon Collins, which I hate Landon Collins. But I really wanted to see him sign with Dallas, but he didn't, so it'll be interesting. Washington's defense is going to be nice, but their offense is going to be kind of trashy with Case Keenum as their quarterback. But they do have AD. AD has shown that he still can produce numbers even at the age he is. And I'm going to go and tell you, I'm picking mine this coming year, AFC and NFC Championship and Super Bowl. This is my far, far away bold prediction. I think in the AFC it's going to be the Patriots, Colts in the AFC, because I see Colts as a very promising team, and I think Andrew Luck has a lot to prove next year. Even though he won Most Improved Player last year, he still has a lot to prove. I know he wants to beat Brady so bad, so I know he's going to try to get to the AFC Championship, whatever he can do. And then plus freaking Marlon Mack, man, he looked amazing last year. And on top of that, their offensive line's actually good, and their defense, Malik Hooker's freaking, man, dude's a beast. And then the NFC, I think it's going to be Saints-Cowboys. Give me all the hate you want, but I'm going Saints-Cowboys. And I think it's going to be a Cowboys-Patriots Super Bowl. It might be my favoritism, but I could possibly see a Cowboys-Patriots Super Bowl. Tell me you won't want to see that. I mean, you could hate Dallas as much as you want, but there's a reason y'all make 10, 15 memes a day about Dallas Cowboys on a Sunday when they lose by a field goal. Or when they go have a really good season and still talk shit about them. So, let me do that. Yeah. But if I'm going to do my non-favoritism NFC Championship, it's probably going to be Saints-Rams, to be honest again. No, not Saints-Rams. Saints. NFC's kind of a toss-up at this point. I'd really like to see Eagles-Cowboys in the NFC Championship. I just don't see that happening. I think last year that should have happened. But I think it will be Saints-Rams. I think it'll be Saints-Rams, Colts-Patriots. It seems like the most realistic one in my head that I can think of at this point. But hey, y'all want another video, just let me know. Leave comments below. Anything, message me. Hey, I don't care. I'll be up.